So the University of New Mexico Hospital is unlike any other. It was started, I think, in the 1940s to be a charity hospital. In fact, early on, if you had insurance, you could not come here. It was in the charter. What I think is really unique to this day is that there's no other tertiary care hospital in any direction for greater than 400 miles.
The vision of the University of New Mexico to promote health equity, it's at least part of the reason why all of the faculty are here.
I think there's some unique socioeconomic kind of cultural things that happen at UNM, especially right now during COVID. It's been pretty tricky trying to take care of patients from the Four Corners region where we had the hot spot early, the Navajo Nation. And so trying to figure out how to not delay care, but to keep everybody safe.
We're really the only shop in town. There's 5 head and neck surgeons, and they're the only fellowship-trained head and neck oncologists in the state. We have no competition in the state.
We have a head and neck surgeon in the operating room every day of the week. Oftentimes it's more than one person. And that ranges all the way from gentlemen's surgery like parathyroids and thyroid lobectomies.
Good day, my lord.
to
escort your thyroid out.
Parotidectomies and salivary gland surgery to the two-team all day long, resections with 3-5 reconstructions.
There are a ton of I've never seen it before, I'll probably never see it again type of cases that come to us. And there's also a lot of kind of bread and butter general ENT. So I think this training program kind of spans the whole breadth of the specialty.
So the interdisciplinary skull-based clinic here is made up of rhinologists, head and neck surgeons such as myself and Dr. Olson, as well as neurosurgeons and endocrinologists. And we meet every week and we go through cases. And more fun, we do the cases together. And so this is something that can be straightforward, like a pituitary surgery or a repair of cerebrospinal fluid leak or a clival chordoma. And this is something that really reflects what we do here at the University of New Mexico, which is exceptional and innovative and cutting edge care, and really is one of the favorite things that I do here at the University of New Mexico.
The torus cases I find very interesting and also challenging. The approach to dissection in those cases is different from anything else in that it's kind of like strip mining in a sense. You can't really work at anything from underneath. You've got to work from the top down because of the way it's presented to you. So learning that anatomy is just a different exercise.
My favorite flap. What is my favorite flap? I think I really like doing ALTs. They're a little bit different every time, and just kind of keeps it interesting.
Several years ago, I just realized that we were doing a big volume of thyroid and parathyroid surgery, and we were kind of doing it independently. So I decided we would try and get everybody together and do a multidisciplinary clinic. So we hired our own endocrinologist for it, and we have a good relationship with pathology and radiology, and that's been really coming together. It's been great.
My favorite ENT word? That's an interesting question. Ultimobranchial, like the ultimobranchial body, which also happens to be my wrestling name. So.
Crisis of Tumarkin.
Larynx.
Quincy, probably.
Moist.
Naris and Nares, the people that want to say Nair.
Because it's not Nair, it's Naris, yeah.
If we're going to use Latin, we should use it properly.
My extra specialty is cleft lip and palate surgery. Also, syndromic kids are a big part of my practice. And so basically any problem within otolaryngology that kids with syndromes have seem to flock to me.
I think we're uniquely situated to provide excellent care to these infants that have not only a cleft, but they have issues with swallowing and speech and breathing, and that is really in our wheelhouse. I think I might never master, especially cleft lip repair, because we keep changing the way we do it, trying to improve it. It's always fun to get to see the post-op day one patients from your guys' work with clefts and microtia and see how awesome they look. So one of the things I love about being an academic pediatric otolaryngologist is I love working with residents. I've had an opportunity to publish papers with most of the residents over the years. I just love guiding them through the process.
It seems like I've had a run of middle ear explorations for kids that have congenital conductive hearing loss, which is becoming one of my more favorite cases to do, although you never know what you're going to get, so it's also really intimidating. But I love doing cochlear implants, and I also really like doing endoscopic ear surgery. Most of the basic stuff I do just tympanoplasties, and then even a lot of the cholesteatoma cases I've managed to do mostly endoscopic, and so that's been a really fun addition to my practice, and I really kind of learned to do that after my training, and it's been fun to learn to do it also with the residents.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy nowadays because I'm the only neurotologist in the state. We really provide the gambit of care from chronic ear surgery, cochlear implants, skull-based surgery, vestibular surgery, facial nerve surgery. So we have an excellent team to take care of whatever comes our way.
I have a particular focus in otology and an interest also in endoscopic sinus surgery. And so I do enjoy focusing on those things, but I really do try to practice across the entire spectrum of otolaryngology.
Because we're a small program, our residents get to do things very early on during their residency training. For instance, where I trained, there were 3 residents a year, and I never saw an ear case until I was a senior or chief resident. But we have opportunities for even our interns to get involved in otology cases, and I think they have a great experience from the beginning so that they can hone their skills and be competent by the time they leave.
The weirdest thing I've ever found in someone's ear was a fully engorged tick.
Weirdest thing in someone's ear was a living tick. You can ask Dr. Syme about that one.
Nice.
A tick. That was so gross.
Some sort of like bug thing. Yeah.
A bolt?
I gotta say cockroach.
They were about the diameter of the number 7 ear section, so we could sort of pick one out one at a time that turned out to be maggots.
I feel really glad that I trained at the University of New Mexico. There's just a ton of pathology here that really augments your training. Airway in particular is something that is a scary part of being an otolaryngologist, and you see a lot of it here. Emergent airways are not an unfamiliar thing to you once you've finished your training. All 3 of the pediatric otolaryngologists at UNM are experts and interested in pediatric airway surgery, and you're exposed to a lot of endoscopic airway surgery as well as open airway surgery.
And most airway cases can be managed endoscopically, but there are those that need an open surgery for reconstruction. It's never assured that we'll have enough length of trachea to make a reconstruction, and so those cases can be very challenging.
I get to see anything from really complex level 1 facial trauma reconstruction to cancer resection and reconstruction on the face, facial reanimation, facial rehabilitation, congenital vascular anomaly surgery. I did some special subspecialty training in my fellowship for that. Everything from more of a simple cosmetic rhinoplasty all the way to total rhinectomy reconstruction. So like the other day we did a total rhinectomy reconstruction without free tissue transfer. The guy obviously looks better and has been doing well and functionally doing well too. So those cases are really satisfying for me as well.
My interest is in trauma, and that's what I trained in fellowship. But I also see a lot of patients with temporomandibular joint problems, patients who need reconstruction after partial loss of facial bones.
I have an interest in trauma. Having those skills is really applicable elsewhere, and the way that I think about it is that trauma as a skill set is really helpful even in oncology, because trauma and tumors don't respect tissue planes. Those cases will take you to spaces that you had no other intention of going to operative surgically. If you want to be giving back to your community, that includes trauma in my mind.
What I love about the place is the people. So it's self-selecting, great residents, wonderful people to work with, and great colleagues. And as a lifelong New Mexican, I'm really thrilled to be able to provide care to New Mexicans and to be a part of my community.
One of the reasons my husband and I moved to New Mexico was for all of the outdoor opportunities that we would have here. I grew up in Colorado, and we now say that we're sort of New Mexico's Colorado without the Colorado price tag. We love to paddleboard down the Rio Grande, and it's amazing to be on the river and really not even see or hear cars or anything else around.
So, I heard you're thinking of coming to UNM. I think that's a great idea, because you know what? Today is Monday night.
And my kids find a bazillion creatures in the Rio Grande, and they actually swim in it, and they love growing up here.
There's no time in New Mexico where you don't want to be outside. Even in the winter, it's maybe a little bit chilly, but there's fun things to do, and the weather's not bad enough to not be able to embrace taking full advantage of it.
Albuquerque's by far the largest city in New Mexico, so it takes on a lot of characteristics of a big city, even though population-wise it's smaller than a lot of big cities in the country.
It's a great place to train and a great place to live.
That it's just really beautiful here. Yeah, the high desert is a really special place.
I'm really proud of our people, this group of people that have come here. The Division of Otolaryngology is not a thing. It's not a space or a building. It's a group of people, and I think the group of people that we have here now is just absolutely fantastic in every area, and I think the future is very bright.
If I had to use one word to describe our division, I would say family.
Caring, that's a word that comes to mind.
Collegial, adventurous, teamwork.
Heroic.
Family.
Family.
Family.